Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
I love you, baby.
Honey, I love you too. Who is that texting you?
Nobody, baby. Don't worry about it.
Nobody. It says Tina. Who the fuck is Tina? Who the fuck is Tina?
Bitch, you know what? Get your shit and get out.
You know what? I love you, babe, but maybe we should take a break.
A break? Maybe you should kiss my ass.
Sound familiar? You in a relationship and the shit ain't working. It's time for the truth. This is the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason has returned. Oh, God. With another crazy topic. I'm telling you right now, the phone lines are definitely going to be bananas. You got to get to your phone line right now if you want to call in and express your opinion about today's crazy topic. 844-55-1. The number to dial again is 844-55-1. You're listening to the Voice of Reason. This is a relationship help desk. What is a help desk? Well, if you got issues, you got questions, you need answers, me and a cacophony of female voices that range from the elderly to the infantile will be here. Oh, yeah, I'm on fire today. I'm sorry, I'm going in. Please forgive me for my insolence. I apologize. We're going to have a great time today. Today's topic is so fucking bananas right now. I'm Zoe Williams. I am known as the Voice of Reason. You're listening to Hot Button Radio on the Dash Radio app. If you don't have the app, you can't hear the show live. You got to download the app. If you have an iPhone, go to your iPhone platform, whatever that is. What is the iStore or the iTunes?
Is it a Play Store?
It's the Apple Store. Fall easy breezy while I correct this whole situation. Get there, download the Dash Radio app. Also, you can get it from Google Plus, Google Play. Yes, I have an iPhone, so I don't know anything about the others. Gang
it's
banging.
Just an Android. Join the winning team.
Gang banging. Yeah, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to give you this topic, and you got to get to your phone lines. I'm telling you now, call in 844-55-1. Should I give the topic or should I introduce the crew first?
The topic is on point. I say topic off top because it's going to get crazy.
Top.
Come on with the topic.
Damn. So all week long, from Monday to Wednesday to now Friday, well, this is Freaky Friday, of course. That's why we're playing the Truffle Butter record in the background. Yikes. We've been talking about parenting, right? The whole week. This is another parenting topic, but it's a tough one. Are you ready for the new sex talk? The new sex talk. Now, the old sex talk was, now, baby, are you messing around? Because if you're messing around, I'm going to have to take you down to Planned Parenthood and get you a handful of condoms, and then we're going to watch some videos together. And you understand what I'm saying? The new sex talk. How to have the truffle butter conversation with your sexually curious teen.
Tween.
Damn.
Goodness.
Tween even.
Yeah.
You even got
a tween.
Because if you start a teen, they probably know more
They
than
probably already pregnant.
Damn.
Yeah, you're too late. Neecole. You're too late.
How to have the truffle butter conversation with your sexually curious teen. The Voice of Reason exclusively on Hot Button Radio Dash. Radio. Now, for a lot of people out there, they don't know what the hell truffle butter is. This record is by Drake and Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and all these different
whole
folks,
crew.
and they talking about it. We're going to give the definition before the show is over, and it's quite shocking. 844-55-1 is the number to dial. Please get to your phone lines and chime in. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for tweens?
Damn.
Right? Fuck it. I want to stay a virgin until prom night, but I will blow you down. 844-55-1. Is it going down like that in middle and high school right now?
Probably. It seems like it. There's a lot of young parents.
Nice. This is getting crazy. I got questions. You guys know how I do. So, just how does a parent sit down and discuss truffle butter to their kids? How do they sit down? How do you even... I have a 15-year-old daughter. And I did exactly what my assistant producer did. He was like, I'm going to text my 16-year-old sister. I'm going to see if she knows what this means. What is truffle butter? Do you know what that is? Yeah, I know what it is. Oh, shit. That right there? Like, so my daughter, every time I talk to her about anything, it could be fucking Rice Krispies. It doesn't matter. She gets hella shy, right? Hella reserved, right? So I asked her about truffle butter, and she just took her shirt and put her face in her shirt, like, oh, damn. But she knows. 844-55-1, that's the number to dial.
It's disgusting.
Used to be, let's talk about birth control. That's what it used to be, right? Let's talk about birth control. Let's talk about, like what now seems like childish. Like, you can't get pregnant, jacking off your boyfriend. Or, it used to be like...
watermelon seeds.
Or eating watermelon seeds. It used to be like real dumb shit, right?
Seeds.
Now, we've really got to start talking about the potential hazards. Because if you're looking for truffle butter, like, this
is sick.
Fuck. Like, how do you have this talk, man? What would you do? I'm gonna ask this last question, and I'm gonna introduce everybody. What would you do, or what should you do as a parent if you walk in and catch your 12 to 18-year-old son or daughter watching a porn on their iPhone or their iPad or something like that? Or what if you walk in and say your 12-year-old, 13-year-old daughter is masturbating, or your son is masturbating? What do you do?
You just have to talk to them.
How do you have that conversation?
That's what they're doing, or trying to.
844-55-1. Now, let me introduce the crew, because they obviously can't be patient enough to just listen as I read the questions. So fuck the questions. Jesus. You coach and you coach and you coach, and the team just refuses to win. Ladies and gentlemen, to my immediate right, you know her. She doesn't give a fuck about liberality. I'm going to make up a word for her, like she says. She doesn't care about liberal conversations. She's a conservative. She has morals. She's better than you. She's a Leo. Neecole Cockerham.
You love it.
In the building. Directly to her right, the young gun. I mean, she represents is there such thing as a truffle butter generation?
She represents the millennials.
Gosh.
The millennials.
That's right. That's right.
Naja Blu in the building. Welcome to the show, Naja.
What's happening, y'all?
Jesus, this topic is crazy, right?
I'm excited.
Oh, God. Okay, don't get too excited. Shit.
You just had the conversation.
Christ. Right. We was just talking about this on the way up here. Right.
She just got it from her mom.
The flower child. Wild and free. Whitney Tabor.
What's poppin', y'all? I do what I want, man.
You figure, deals.
Yeah.
And next to her right, this is a very beautiful panel, by the way. Jesus. If anybody wants to practice, I guess, truffle butter churning.
Oh, that's gosh.
Nope.
Sick.
Not this.
844-55-1 is the number.
All bad.
To dial. Directly to the right of Whitney is newcomer. She's a foreigner in a strange land.
Foreign.
I like
with a story to tell.
music right now.
Ashanti Ford in the building. What's up?
How we doing? Let's dive into this French fried truffle butter.
God. I mean, hip hop has such a influence on everything, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Everything. Even, on a side note, even the president of the University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma University is like, the chant that the sorority or the fraternity was chanting with the N-word and all of that. Well, we got it from hip hop, is what he said recently.
What?
So
Here we go.
that's what he said. We got it from hip hop.
I
So
love,
hip
I
hop
love
gets
a good excuse.
hip hop gets
Right.
blamed for everything.
Word.
So my question is hip hop a viable excuse for the hypersexuality of children who are learning about truffle butter? For people who don't know what truffle butter is, who has the Urban Dictionary definition? I want a woman to read it.
Let's pull
I
this.
think we all got it.
844-55-1 is
It's
the
not
number to
gonna
dial.
I want Ashanti to read it because she got the sexy voice.
She does.
She has the sexy
I don't know.
voice.
I don't know how she's gonna make this sexy though.
Okay, let's try.
Well, let's hear it. 'Cause-
Truffle butter is when you pull the dick out of the asshole and continue fucking her pussy. And the tan, buttery substance around her pussy is then called truffle butter.
Okay, I've had enough.
How does she make
The
that
show's
sound
over.
Nasty.
Can we go to commercial?
How did you do that?
Shit, I gotta go throw up.
If you're getting all that, that's a
Where
dirty
is that from?
UrbanDictionary.com.
Yeah.
Urban dick.
Urban dick, baby.
Yes.
Put up that urban dick.
But it came popular from that song that we heard in the beginning of the show. Nicki Minaj, who a ton of little girls want to be, I think, when they grow up. Lil Wayne and
That
Drake, every girl's future husband, he's the one who came up with the term.
What are some effective ways for high school and middle schoolers and these students? How can they express their love other than through sex? Is it a problem?
Yeah.
Is sex a problem for the young?
Can I get into that?
Of course, Cockerham.
Listen,
You and your name can come right in. Cockerham.
cock in the hand. Stop it. I
All
got
right.
legacy. I've told you.
I'm sorry.
Listen, the thing about it is spring comes every year, right?
Right.
And this is something that sets off chemical, balance. It sets off our pheromones for children and adults alike. That's what it's for.
Right.
But when you are 12, 13, 14, 15, you're supposed to be loving your school books.
Listen, Mrs. Robinson.
Cockerham?
Can we play It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood for her?
Literally.
Look, you're not going to school to date, to meet boys, to talk. You're going to school to learn. You ain't even going to school to go to break. You're going to school to learn.
And get broke off. Whitney Tabor.
I'm sorry, I love my girl Neecole, but I'm going to have to decline all of that. Kids these days are going to school they're trying to be the Kanye of the middle school. They're trying to be the Kim K's.
It's true.
There's sixth graders.
Dropouts.
There are sixth graders sucking dick at recess.
Wow.
Goodness.
Problematic.
All over. It ain't,
Sandbox?
and it's not even in the big cities. It's in the little Midwest, all that. They heard it. Drake does it.
Listen.
All these niggas do it. We doing it.
I want to do this right now. If you're on Twitter, I want you to tweet your responses to all of the questions that you're hearing on the show right now. I promise you, I will be checking and reading and getting at it throughout the show. Please, please, please reach out to us because we need to know, how do you have this conversation? And there's a real possibility that the children we're trying to initiate the birds and the bees conversation with actually know more about sex than the parents who are trying to initiate this conversation.
I believe that. I think you have to just talk to your kids about it and not be so, standoffish about it, because you want to talk to them about the precautions as well as, the consequences.
What about the parent that comes in? Look at here, you little hoe.
Oh my
the
God.
fuck is going on?
That goes back.
You keep your little wet box in your
What
pants.
What is she doing? Your little jelly box.
Right.
The mom is probably jealous like our last show.
Wow.
Come on,
Don't
man.
do it.
I'm bringing it back.
Naja Blu.
Don't do it.
I think that the conversation is more so preventative now than it is, or how to not get pregnant than it is how to not have sex.
Teen pregnancy is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
It's up I think the number is 72% since 1985. So I don't think anybody knows how to not have a baby.
It's a lot of thoughts in these streets.
It's just the conversation's not happening. I mean, I could ask all
We're
of my
having it
friends.
now. So
Well, I can ask all my friends, and for sure, I know 100% of my friends have not had the conversation with their parents.
Ever?
Ever. Not once. My parents have never talked to me about it. Never.
they've never
but
said
someone gave you a look.
never.
My dad did the book.
You better not shake your head. I'll call your mama this evening.
Naja, nah,
I promise.
Never?
I gotta ask Naja. In your school or your group of friends, when did people start losing their virginities or start experimenting with sex?
Sophomore year.
And how old is I don't know.
So that's like 15, 14, 15.
Wow.
14, 15.
Listen, we have an adult on the line. My homegirl, Veronica Conway, has joined the conversation.
Hey, Veronica.
VC,
Are you with me?
Hey.
what in the hell do you think about the churning of truffle butter?
I think that shit is crazy, no pun intended.
That shit is crazy, no pun intended. Love it. Beautiful.
For real,
I think that if we understand, it's funny because I consider myself pretty progressive around sexuality just because of kind of the really deep transformation that I've been exposed to vis-a-vis a chama and all that. But I feel a little conservative right now because this is just not the world that I occupy, nor my kids. I think if we understood how beautiful sex was, we wouldn't need all of the distortion. In other words, if you're having real sex, it's good enough on its own. All of this whoop-de-doop and frowdy-row and extra isn't really...
Your poo shooter, your fart locker, leave that area alone.
See, all you conservatives, I'm playing your favorite record right now.
Noam Chomsky is not a conservative. He's a social libertarian.
Oh, my God.
Whatever that means.
Hey, listen, Veronica, what you just said and what Neecole Cockerham just said, this is what's playing in the background to the kids. They're like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look, they can skip when they push their baby carriage up to class. With no friends.
With no friends.
No, but I think Naja said something that was really profound. And she says, what do you say, 90%, you think?
No, 100% of my friends have not had the conversation.
100.
100%.
It's a baby with a new pair of Air Force Ones and a
lot
dirty
of friends.
diaper.
Here's the other thing. I know a lot of schools that have daycare.
What?
For sure.
Yeah, they used to be called, what was the secondary school? When they used to send you, when you have the baby, they don't let you come to the regular high school. They send you over to the secondary school.
Oh, yep, that's right.
And you say, oh, they go to, don't talk to them.
My oldest son and my only daughter, they go to high school together. And their high school has a fully functioning daycare on campus.
You know why? Because if you build it, they will come.
For the students. For the students.
They're going to come anyway.
If parents aren't having the conversation, who are the children talking to? Who are they getting the information from?
Their friends.
Nicki Minaj, man.
Yeah,
music is the most powerful. I'm trying to tell you, these young kids, all they want to do is listen to music.
It's the drug of choice.
Right.
Veronica?
If a parent is not, sex is just a natural part of how human beings get here. It's just the most natural thing in the whole world, and guess what? Everybody does it at some point. So if a parent is not, and given all that that young kids are faced with in terms of making choices in life, if a parent is not having a deep down, forthright, naked ass conversation with their kids about sex, then they are faulty, and they should be fired as parents.
Okay, Mrs. Trump.
That's
it's like giving a baby a flamethrower. It's like giving a baby a flamethrower. Why would you do that?
I think a big part of it is this. Kids refuse to talk to their parents because of the parenting style. Like, if you know your mom is Mount Pinatubo and she gonna blow the fuck up if you say, Mom, say it's a girl. You know how moms and daughters are. Y'all talk about everything, right? Yeah. Except this, apparently. So what happens if your daughter comes and says, I let a guy go anal? 844-55-1. I mean, this is really happening out here in these streets.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap into what Zoe was talking about. A lot of girls, I think younger girls, think that if they do anal, that they're still considered virgins because they haven't had actually intercourse in their vagina.
But what is it called? It's called anal what?
That's stupid.
There it is. And anytime you have that word at the end of it, then that's what it is.
But do you
Mrs. Cockerham, can some other people speak? What the hell?
Well,
Miss Cockerham, she got a ruler and everything. She gonna hit niggas on their hands.
I have no more cookies.
Oh, Jesus.
That's crazy.
Listen, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, the phone lines are heating up. Listen, I want to know your opinion. If you're a parent and you're scared of this conversation, I mean, Naja Blu just really blew this whole situation up by saying 100% of her friends. She just turned 21 years old.
Y'all are not doing your job.
She said 100% of her friends are not having this conversation.
oh my gosh.
Not having this conversation. Parents are not talking. Get to your phone lines, 844-55-1. 844-55-1. Please call us. Tell us your story. Tell us how you broke the news to your child. Or maybe you beat them to the punch before they got poked out. 844-55-1. I know, I'm reckless. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, Hot Button Radio, Voice of Reason returns. More questions, more callers, more information is going down. See you in a second. Deuces. Yep. Wow. Again, it's a very tough conversation. Let me just... Jackie Jack on Twitter. She has the greatest post. She goes, at Zoe Williams, I just tuned in. And before I say, what in the hell is going on in here? Let me listen for a little bit before I weigh in. I'm ready, though. I don't know if you're quite ready. Today's topic, man, is goddamn. I'm bugging. How to have the truffle butter conversation with your sexually curious teen. Are you ready for the new sex talk? How do you have the talk with a kid who probably knows more than you about sex? I mean, it's a tough conversation. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss? I remember it took a long time before we even got to kissing. Now it's, hey, let me dust you off.
It was called heavy petting.
What comes before kissing?
Frontage.
Holding hands.
Thrusting?
Frontage. We used to do frontage, right?
It's frontage. Sir.
Frontage is the technical term for dry humping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dry humping was a monumental accomplishment.
Hump that thing dry.
It was, boy, I knew she liked me if she let me rub these hot ass corduroys against her. I knew it was going to progress. I'm just saying, I knew, like, she let me hump her. This shit is going down.
Oh.
Now it's blowed. It's Project Blowed. Speak on it, Veronica. I see you itching. No pun intended.
Well, I mean,
right.
I do. No, it's funny. I just asked my son if he's 18.
Oh yeah, he done got some. Yeah, he got some. Did he tell you what truffle butter was?
No, he doesn't know. It's strange. My kids stayed virgins a long time. They really did. Not because of anything. You know, we've had very honest conversations their entire lives about sex and what they're encountering and what they're experiencing. And I talk to my kids a lot about the dynamics of boys and girls and energy and what happens when you're attracted to somebody. And they stayed virgins a long time on their own volition. So it's strange. My daughter stayed virgin until she was in her 20s.
Wow.
So
do you think? Let me ask you this question: do you think a hoish mama or daddy produces a promiscuous child, like early on, like? If
same energy, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if mom got a gang of dudes coming in and out, and he can hear, they hear all of this going on. Does that make them even more curious? 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. What do you think, Veronica?
Well, here's something that I believe that people have said is strange and radical, and that is this. I think that I would rather have my kids overhear the sounds of lovemaking than overhear the sounds of fighting. And I think that we've become too conditioned in our culture having our kids hear us fight and not love.
So you're sex positive. You're a sex positive parent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Well, could you give us an example before I go to the callers? Can you give us an example of a sex negative parent? Because I think I'm both.
That anytime we turn sexuality into something shameful. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about this unwillingness of parents to discuss sexuality with their children, what you're really saying, because everybody's sexual, what you're really saying is that they feel some sort of aversion or shame around it. And so anytime you turn this very powerful, potent energy and connectivity and feeling into something ugly, then you've just fucked it all up. Right?
Have we
just fucked it up?
Have we demonized sexuality in this culture?
Absolutely. You can thank the priests and the politicians for that.
The priests and the politicians. So because Jesus supposedly never got any yoni,
but we don't know that.
We all aspire to be.
That's not why all the Catholic priests mess with little boys.
Well, I think the Catholic priests put themselves in a box.
No, the wrong box.
They put themselves in a terrible box. They try to subjugate their humanity, right? I'm just never gonna like no pussy, and I'm a man married to Jesus. And next thing you know,
little boys,
boom, dick get hard as hell under that robe. 844-55.
The offering is really the receiving.
I'm just saying. 845.
Just sick.
844-55-radio. LB from Connecticut, you're on the line. Speak to us about the talk.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
What up, LB?
Hey.
All right, so I want to make just 2 points. I think in the generation that the kids are in now, I think I had it worse because I'm 23, and I grew up listening to songs like Tip Drill and that girl Kaya, Lick My Neck, My Back, and all that. You know what I mean?
That's sweet.
DJ, you got that record?
Ooh, that used to be my shit.
Go ahead, LB. Hey.
Truffle butter is, like, you got to look it up to know what it is. Like, when I was growing up, like, watching BET Uncut and all that, they used to say exactly what the hell they talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I had to talk with my mom about sex. Like, she knew, like, I would like to think myself as a handsome young man, like, I'm going to engage in sexual activities with women. All she wanted me to do is wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring no babies home. Don't do nothing like that. And you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's a good point, man. I appreciate the call. Thanks, LB. The phone lines are open, 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. Veronica Conway's on the line, Whitney Tabor, Ashanti Ford. Naja Blu is up in here like she's in the mountains somewhere. She's drinking out of a gallon of water. Like, what kind of Grizzly Adams baby is in here? And, of course, Neecole Cockerham, star of Put Your Dick Away, You Immoral Little Bastard. Speak to us about how we, like, I'm a cool dad. Let me tell you what I did. I think I'm cool anyway. When my son was in the 8th grade, I said, listen here, you kind of handsome. You know, you picked up a few things from your daddy and a few things from your mama. And then, you know, you gonna play ball and they coming for you. So let's just have a sit down. And what I did was we got right on the shit that didn't exist when I was his age, the internet, right? And we went to YouTube and I pulled up a video of pictures of sexually transmitted diseases. Fucked up dicks and mouths and coochies all blew out and sore. And I said, listen, bad choices lead to this shit here. Right? So we sat there and he was like, Dad, You know, he was bugging. I was like, hey, I said, even something as innocent as kissing a girl now, you could have this shit on your mouth. Look at this dude's lips. This nigga got some busted hot links for lips. Right? And it was bad. We watched the whole video. But I think that set the tone for him. I said, now, I don't not want you to, to have sex. Because I know you going to have, it's going down. You're going into the 9th grade as a varsity basketball player. You about to get the whole underbody carriage wash for free, right? It's gonna happen, right? But I just said I need you to make choices that are based off of your mind, your ability to think, your ability to pause. Because sometimes it feels great as hell to just be liked and cheered and revered and wanted and people talking to you, and then you wind up saying, yeah, go on ahead, girl. Go on down there and clean me up. And next thing you know, Dad, one nut is bigger than the other one. What happened? Yeah, it's a problem, son. So we talked. And I think that conversation has kind of guided him a little bit. Now, he didn't have sex for 3 years. No, but let me tell you what this motherfucker did. Pissed me off. He doesn't tell me that he had sex until he's heavily sedated on drugs. This is the day he had knee surgery. So they shot his ass up with some drugs, and he was like, yeah, you know what I mean? He's talking like he's some kind of pimp. He's coming in and out of consciousness. Yeah, Dad, where my phone at? I said, nigga, you just came out of surgery. No phone for you. Yeah, man, I need to call my woman, man. Where my phone? This nigga's a pimp. My son is really a pimp. So you got to do your business, Dad. What? What are you talking about? Your business is to give me my phone. I said, okay. He said, and another thing, this shit ain't all it's cracked up to be, cussed and everything. That shit ain't all it's cracked up to be. What you talking about? He went to sleep. Then he came back out from consciousness. Yeah, pussy, You said I would have the mist. I ain't got the mist. That shit is okay. I said, you had sex? Oh, yeah, a little while ago. You know what I mean? What? You little asshole. You gonna tell me after surgery? I think he felt like, well, I guess I was gonna die. So might as well tell you, right? But I guess we have to be cool with our kids and accept them. How many parents out there are accepting of their children, especially if they just go ahead and make a decision without them knowing? Cockerham?
My mic ain't on. Oh, you know what?
Wrong.
That's a good. That actually, that's a good question. I think the parents that know their children are cool because they want to keep an open dialogage.
Because kids will cut parents off when it comes to privy information. Like, I am not fucking with you on this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk to Rollo, and he going to tell me what's happening, right?
Yeah. For the most part, like I said, if you have a good relationship, like Naja, even though your mom didn't come and have the talk with you, did you actually, keep an open dialogue with her about any sort of sexual?
And I think because she didn't pry, I felt more inclined to let her in. Definitely. But she gave my sisters and I a lot of freedom, and we respect her for that. So we never took that as let me go be sneaky. We weren't like those kids at all. So we didn't have curfews, none of that. Yeah. And it was because we respected her as our mother and also just like as a human being.
And it allowed you to set your own boundaries.
Yep.
Wow. Whitney?
For me, my parents didn't have the talk with me either, but my dad gave me the don't do it speech. More like, so I had the same speech. Like, he didn't ever, my dad was very like, I'm his only daughter, so he's like, I don't want to ever, don't. Still, I'm 28, he still don't want to hear nothing about anything. He's not listening today for sure. He don't. But, and then see, even my mom.
I'm not listening to this shit.
My mom didn't either, but I think they allowed the school system, which I had sex ed at like 6th grade, all the way until whatever. But I respected them, didn't have sex until I was like 18. And I didn't even start doing extra. That's the thing that cracked me up.
Extra shit. Speak on it. Go deeper, Whitney.
Well, no, you said it's...
Speak on the nastiness,
Is sucking dick the new, handshake or whatever you said?
Good night kiss.
The good night kiss. To me, back in... I graduated in 2005 from high school.
Damn.
Oh, baby. I didn't suck any dick until I got, almost graduated from college. I'm sorry for high school boyfriend. My bad, you missed out on that. But anyway.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, that blew my mind when you said kids are just sucking dick like crazy. To me, that's one of those sacred, like I ain't gonna suck a dick until we're like really at that level.
But the boo hole is not off. That's not off limits.
I've never had. I don't know what the boo hole. I haven't tapped into that yet. I'm not. Oh God. I'm cool with the naturalness. So
the boo hole.
Okay, the poo shooter. The fart locker.
This is my booze hole. What? The boo hole is a new term for it. The boo.
You got to keep something sacred. I could put that shit on eBay.
Ashanti.
I think my dad actually rented this VHS from the library. And
that's cool,
it was on anatomy, but see, I was only like 7. And we never revisited it again.
Right. Got
One
it.
of those things.
So my 15-year-old daughter and I have not had the conversation.
I mean,
what are you waiting
uncomfortable.
for?
She's my baby.
But you want to protect her though, right?
So I, in a lot of ways, I'm more like Whitney's dad.
Definitely.
You know, I'm going to have the conversation. I know because I talk too much. I know I'm going to have the conversation.
But that's a double standard. You sat your son down in the 8th grade. He was like 12.
The daughter should
She's
be the real
15. She's going to be driving next year. She's going to be driving to the dick next year.
Oh my God.
No, she won't. Goddammit. She know what kind of daddy she got.
But that's the thing is Zoe is a man, so he understands how men react and how men act towards women. Right. He don't really know what his daughter, she might be just chilling. When I was 15, I was like, yo, I'm about to go hoop, chill with my homegirls, and I didn't start thinking about that until, 17.
But what I do is I speak vicariously to her through her mother.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I'll be like, look, tell her whoop, 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 whoop-de-bap, and then whoop-de-whoop on top of that.
Whoa.
That's how I lay it down.
And it works. My dad.
And her mother will say, listen, do this, do that. Present yourself this way. And I'll say things like, look, whatever you do, remember you're a representation of me. And so my daughter, that's one thing I love about my daughter. She's like, I do not want to disappoint this dude. Right? That's my impact on my children. They look at me like, oh shit, here comes King Joffe Joffa of Zamunda. We do not want to piss this dude off. So, Naja?
I was the kind.
My son works.
And again, I'm a super respectful kid. I definitely didn't want, my dad's in the music industry. Everybody knows my dad in this town in LA. So for me, it's like, but that would not have scared me. I'm not worried about representing my dad well. My mom always told me, just remember that you're a representation of your future self. Mm-hmm. And that was more important to me because I'm like, damn, I want a career. I want these things for myself. He's gonna die by the time I'm getting ready to do some crazy things. Ooh. You know what I mean? So when my life is popping off, like he's not gonna be here, I need to be a representation of myself.
That's crazy.
And that to me was way more important.
Yeah. I know. The one thing my dad told me that set me off, because my dad is apparently Zoe, I don't know, but they're the same people. They're the same people. Right. But my dad said, I remember when I was, starting to dress, I've always had big boobs. So I started dressing, it's hot, I'm gonna wear a tank top and I got cleavage, like it is what it is. And my dad's told me, and this stuck with me, he said, it's not about, because I said, I don't care what those people think about me. And he said, they're going to always have already, as soon as they look at you, they're going to have something like in their head, like she's a hoe because she's got her cleavage out. So perception is reality. Whatever they think of you, if they all think it, that's what it is, regardless if you're strong-minded and strong-willed. So that's why I respected that and listened to those fools.
To keep it real, I wish my parents would have talked to me about the emotional aspect of having sex, because I don't know about everybody else, but I went nuts over my first.
What happened?
I'm talking about just boo-boo nuts. I mean, I'm still trying to clean up my credit from my first.
Damn.
Well, it gets deep. I wish they would have talked to me about
I'm going to the store,
part.
boo. You want some now and later? Yeah.
Right. Giving up my lunch money and shit.
Or a card, shit.
Right.
Veronica Conway, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy, right? I've been stroking. I love it. Let me ask. When it comes to the daughter thing, when teaching... When teaching, like talking to the kid about sex, do you also talk to her about the double standard that comes along with it? Like, your son, like your brother may have more freedom sexually than you because he's a man. You know, he can go out and fuck 387, right, 387 girls, and he's going to be applauded for it. If you fuck more than 3 people and people know about it, you's a hoe. Do you add that component to the sex talk?
No. It's going back to what was just said about, I wish my parents had talked to me about the emotional part of it. I support my kids in being fully sexual expressed, both of them, whatever that means. And so what I've raised my daughter to think about is not, are you a hoe or not? Does a man approach you with loving intent or not? And do you know the difference? And I don't mean that to say, like, he's got to say, I love you, I want to marry you, because I'm not really down with all that whole rigmarole either. But can you perceive that even if it's just for sex, that he's approaching you with loving intent, that he is respectful of who you are as a woman, and can you tell the difference?
But we don't know. You put yourself in a bad situation for the average dude, because most dudes don't know how to respect a woman or a girl, or, I mean, we're more territorial than respectful. Like, we're territorial about mom, sis, auntie, and them, but not necessarily respectful. Like, it's rare. Like, it's rare that you come across a guy who just respects women. Like,
those are my only experiences.
No, but hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying absolutely that men don't respect women. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, for my experience growing up until now, it's rare that I find a guy who genuinely respects the essence of femininity and women.
But don't you do that?
I do, yeah, okay. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, in a teachable moment, how do you teach a girl to discern and decipher the attention that she's getting from the pursuit that he's on? For her, see, there's a difference.
By her knowing herself.
Totally. I totally get what you're saying, Joe, but watch this. So it's a profound question, because understanding the intent of attention is such an important thing. So because my daughter went to school with all these little white kids, right? Because they went to these lily white, uber 1% schools. So all the white girls were kind of falling over my son, but none of the white boys were stepping to my daughter because she was a sister, right? And so when her peers were going through starting to date in high school and all that, she was feeling like kind of ugly and kind of stuck. I said, baby, just wait, because when you go to college, listen, we're going to have some, I used to do role plays with her, right? Because I figured by the time she got to the East Coast, the Bubba's were going to step to her so hard, and she would be wanting to soak up the attention that she might actually fall for some shit, right? Yeah. So we had those conversations, and so here's what I think, and this is going to, again, sound radical, but this has been my own experience in my own life. I think that a certain quality and caliber of woman commands respect and love intent from men, whether he has experienced that before or not. That's what a real feminine energy evokes. It invokes that.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So you can say the brother won't get it, but I'm saying a woman that's really in her body and in her soul, she'll evoke that.
Listen, I can smoke a bag of that. I can smoke a bag of that, but I will say that even that woman is rare. Naja Blu, then Cockerham.
Like, we keep talking about women, and I think the conversation was initially about this generation and how we talk about in women. Absolutely. In a 15-year-old girl, hell no. There's no chance that I had any type of emotional stability or understanding enough, the wherewithal to make that kind of decision at 15. So it's kind of like power for the course. Like, it's going to happen. I'm just going to have to figure it out. I knew intellectually, I knew I was going to be more mature eventually, but I wasn't there. So when a guy steps to you like that, if my mom ever told me, if he comes to you with sex and it's loving, you good. No, because I'm
No.
not going to get that.
No.
It's not going to come out
Because
that way.
if he's a
Cockerham.
I'm just saying.
Cockerham.
Even in the beginning, if you teach a child, a girl child that's growing up to be a young woman, to know herself, to respect herself. If she knows herself, she's going to understand the difference between bullshit and real shit, kill shit, because that's her core truth.
Speak on it.
And so she should be able to identify all things coming at her at all
Female
times.
Farrakhan right now. Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Sister Muhammad.
I'm just saying, like, we don't allow our
MGT training.
We don't allow our daughters to have a lot of confidence, and I'm all about empowering confidence in little girls, because that way they don't get taken advantage of.
I'm team that. My
Team that.
I'm all team Neecole again. I'm back on your team, girl. I'm back on the team. I was, my parents instilled respect. You are the shit. You are the shit. You're a Tabor. You are the shit. My whole entire life. So my choice to lose my virginity was, I had a boyfriend from 9th grade until 12th grade. I didn't sleep with him until the end of 12th grade, because I was like, man, I don't want to go meet some random in college and be like, man, I should probably knock this out real quick.
Damn, what a user you are.
No, I mean, but
844-55-1.
It is what it is. It was great, but kids these days just aren't. They're just trying to mimic what they see on television and what's popping. They're trying to get the most likes.
But can I say something about that? It's crazy, because it's like the kid is stupid, but then they're smart. Like, they're smart enough to know, like, this is what's popping, but they're too dumb to not act on it because it's not the right thing to do.
Wow.
The dichotomy right there.
The big black beard on Twitter.
Here we go.
Yeah.
He says, I have 3 girls, and I wasn't shit to women
And that's
back
why
in
he
the
got
day.
3 kids.
Can I finish? Just, wow. And there's your voice. Can you cut her mic off? Thank you. Yes, he says, I have 3 girls, and I wasn't shit to women back in the day. Karma about to fuck me up. That's what he said. That's what he said. See how it would have worked even better had I not been interrupted. Thank you, Cockerham. Line 3, Sherman, South Carolina.
What's going on, Zoe? What's up, ladies? How y'all doing?
Hey, how you
chilling,
doing?
man.
How you doing?
Shouts out to that's my good friend, the Big Back Beard. Though I won't say his name on the air, but you guys having a great discussion tonight. What I will say is this: I think Hecka or Veronica, I'm not sure who said about the femininity. Women with femininity can make a man do a certain thing. The question I have for her is, where are they getting that from? Because the women that we come in contact with these days, they don't know shit about men. And
It's true.
Say again?
We said it's true. So go ahead and finish.
Oh yeah, and I will say, and some women come to me about advice. So how do I know this guy is about me, and how do I know this guy is a player and this and that? It just speaks volumes to me about the father figure that they grew up with. Because I believe that me being a father, I have a young daughter, and if I continue to impart that she's beautiful and she, self-value about herself,
Right.
then it will be easier for her to distinguish between the dude that ain't shit and the dude that's about her.
Right.
And
You know
I
what?
think that-
You know what? You saying something that's really powerful. Iyanla Van Zant, I heard her say once that fathers teach daughters boundaries. Right? Daughters, like when I come into my daughter's space, she acts a different way. Like when she knows I'm on campus, I was just at her school today. When she texts, Dad, are you here yet? Like, let me get this whole situation together because he's coming, right? Daughters learn boundaries from fathers. And when they don't have a boundary, and like I said, the sex talk gets a little skewed when that polarizing energy of masculine and feminine aren't counterbalancing each other. Because you might be getting something, but not exactly what you need. You might just be getting a piece of it. You know what I mean? So dads do have a profound impact on that story, on that narrative. Cockerham?
A piece of that is called tip drill.
I need a tip.
Oh, another failed joke. Wow. Sammy Nosa.
I tried to say
Thanks for the
Where can they get
backup.
this feminine power? Is that Veronica or
Veronica?
Hector? I'm not sure.
Hector's not on yet,
Where
but she
can
coming.
they get this?
He's
Where
asking.
can they get this feminine
I mean,
power that she speaks of?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I have been, that I've come to the show and brought some of my people with me is because I, like an Achama or somebody like that has a deep understanding of sexuality, that actually understands how to cultivate women into what they're meant to be. There's very few brothers in the world that actually understand how to do that. And one of the reasons that I sort of had him come and tag here sometimes is so that people can begin to understand that there's a whole another way to operate that's very different than how we've been operating. So the short answer is, get around some people that know way more than you do about how things really function here, especially in relationship to sex. That is an education. That is a journey. That is a process. But if you do it, I promise, your whole life changes. Everything changes. This gets handled.
Wow. Sherman from South Carolina, thank you for calling in. We appreciate the call. You're listening to the Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. Again, you can't hear this show unless you download the app. It's the Dash Radio app. It's free. The phone line is open. That's a toll-free call as well. You can call us from anywhere in the world. 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. 844-55-1. Randall Crawley L. at Studio 7 Design on Twitter says, my mom used to listen to Too Short when I was in the car with her. No sex talk, though.
Damn.
Too Short covered it. Listen here, bitch. Open up your box. Okay, that's what we do.
Wow.
I'm just saying how it's unfortunate, man. I always tell people back in the day, well, not even back in the day, it still happens today. Nothing has changed, only the content has changed. Back in the day, you learned how to talk to a girl by listening to Marvin Gaye, right? Marvin Gaye, right? Those are social game rules, right? Say, baby, what you know good, right? You learned the lingo, you learned the slang, you learned whatever social game rules, right? Back in the day, the music wasn't as in your face as,
Luke.
Bust It Open, Bitch. Where the Bust It Open, Bitch record at? Where the Bust It Open, Bitch record at, right? So my thing is, whether you're having that talk or not, even back in the day, the younger kids was listening to the Whispers, they were listening to the OJs, they're listening, and they're getting the social game rules of how you treat a woman, right? And back then it was more chivalrous. Would we all agree that the music back in the day was more chivalrous?
And art always influences culture.
Yeah, and I think the culture now is, bitch, you see these rims. Your ass should be, you should be naked on sight. And then the confusing aspect of it, which ties back into our thought show, is now the woman who's, playing that game says, but I still deserve respect. I mean, the social game rules are not really, they're being rewritten, but they're not being replaced with some balanced, spiritually aware, conscious shit. It's just getting worse and worse and more kind of intense. What do you guys think of that?
I think a lot of people are okay with that. Like, for a long time, we had all the videos where it was like video vixens, chicks was really naked, certain women were getting offended, then guys proclaimed, I'm talking about the bitches and the hoes, and if that's not you, it doesn't apply to you. Well, you still have people taking that position. So then you have people standing up for something, but then other people just taking it for opportunity and money. So it's no divisiveness amongst the standards.
Crazy. Naja?
I think that it is an interesting dichotomy, because you have women that are, adhering to these social contracts, right? And then also still wanting respect, which is completely in their confines. I think that's their prerogative to also want respect. That's just the culture in which we live. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I still think the girl in the tip drill video they deserve respect still.
Do they?
I absolutely.
The girl who let a dude slide a credit card down the crack of her ass deserves respect?
Yeah.
I just need y'all to go into that real quick.
A freaky
She
girl
actually
doesn't
didn't know
deserve
that was going to
respect?
happen.
Right.
She didn't know that was going to happen?
She didn't know that was going to happen.
Is there?
Let me just say, as a stripper, did she not know that the potentiality of her having sex with somebody on the video shoot wasn't going to happen?
She probably was guaranteed that was going to happen.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Anything could happen with money, strippers, and niggas.
Still deserve respect.
That little combination, that little potpourri of shit, anything could happen.
Still deserve respect.
I mean, is there behind the scenes when she smacked him after? Because that's what I would have done. I would have pushed that fool in the pool. Like, what's popping, bro?
She could have went to church on Sunday.
That would have been the end of your stripping career.
Give me my
But
$300
who gives a damn?
and I'm
Freaky
out.
girls don't deserve respect. Let's be real.
You guys don't think that?
We're all talking at the same time.
Sorry.
The word, that's the record I'm looking for. What is the first line on this record? Let's hear this. Go back. What's the first line on this?
This is my jam, by the way. I'm sorry.
Same. Don't apologize.
Wait, let's hear it.
Hey, been that bad.
Man, fuck's sake. If I did, I'd menage with him and let him eat my ass like a cupcake. My man fool, he just ate. I don't duck nobody but tape. Yeah, that was a setup for a punchline.
Okay.
On duct tape.
After that, I'm going to let him eat my ass like a cupcake.
Truffle butter.
Jesus.
All right.
I guess we're going to take a quick break and wash our mouths out. The voice of reason will be back shortly. I'll talk to you guys in a second. Wow. Listen, if you're just tuning in to this topic, I'm sorry, but I feel like we had to have it. Because Naja, at the beginning of the show, really just laid it out. She really just shut the show down by saying 100% of her friends, now she's 21 years old, 100% of her friends have never had the conversation with their parents. Today's topic, Jesus. Are you ready for the new sex talk? How to have the truffle butter conversation with your sexually curious teen. Now, if you're brand new to the foolishness known as truffle butter, we're going to need one of the sexy voice vixens on the panel to give us the definition again.
Again?
Ashanti, can you tell us...
She assumed responsibility.
Ashanti's on it?
Yes. Ashanti, what is truffle butter again, please?
Absolutely, Mr. Zoe Williams. Truffle butter is when you pull your dick out of an asshole and continue fucking her pussy, and the tan, buttery substance around her pussy, now that is truffle butter.
Jesus Christ.
That is me throwing up inside my chest.
I'm just disgusted because for me, how do you have that conversation?
How do you ruin something that was meant to be a delicate cuisine?
I love
truffle butter.
potatoes, bro.
Yeah, I mean, most of these motherfuckers probably have never had truffles
Because there's nothing fine about
right?
Truffle butter is
that
good.
culture. Like,
well, it's a play on words because they do talk about it as it's like a food substance in this song too.
They cannot afford it.
It's digested food.
Okay.
Wait, but isn't it unsanitary?
He's talking about fillets with the truffle butter. That's a line in the lyrics. So he's back and forth. Like he's talking about food, which it really is, which is amazing, but then also the nastiness
But
that
see,
we just talked
that's
about.
my thing. It's like, if that happens, that's a dirty BI. Like,
That's what
I don't
I'm
believe
saying.
that's supposed to happen.
It's unsanitary.
The
You're not supposed to
hell?
have poo particles in your vag. Straight up.
It's beyond sanitary. It's a health hazard. Yeah.
You right about that?
Somebody call the CDC.
Somebody
What's the
take
number
a
for the
picture of
CDC?
Zoe's face. Please take a... I wish y'all could see Zoe's face right now because he is just like...
He got on the Ray Charles today.
What just happened?
We're going to have to take your vagina to the CDC and get it checked out. 'cause
Absolutely.
It's going to go bad.
It's going to go bad and then be airborne.
Cockerham, no!
You got to cover up the queef.
Wait, I have a question for the panel. Is porn, because kids all watch porn, is porn educational? Is that the new sex ed video?
Can you sit down with your kid? Like, let's watch. Well, maybe maybe a lightweight porn, right?
Like a little fluffing? Stop it.
It's ridiculous.
That doesn't even sound right.
Exactly.
I mean, but parents have to find a way to really get back into this conversation, right?
Legitimize your savage child.
How do you get in the conversation? Like, how do you? Because you know how kids are. Kids are not interested in shit that they're not interested in. So you can't sit down like right now. We got Marvin Gaye playing in the background.
Hey,
one of the smoothest. This motherfucker was Colt 45, right? It's just Lando Calrissian, nigga. This nigga was smooth. And if you listen to this record, I Want You, right? Of course, there's a lot of white people out there stealing records from him. Well, only one white guy. Robin Thicke. Just pay up the money, nigga. Anyway.
That's why his wife left him.
Damn.
We destroying this nigga right now.
First off, I love Robin Thicke.
No,
That's my boy.
But these are the social game rules that I was talking about earlier. The record is simply, I want you. That's what he's singing about. You know, what it means to be wanted by somebody, right? And it's deep, it's passionate, it's meaningful. And back in the days, this was our social game rule. Today, Nikki wants you to eat her ass like a cupcake.
Oof.
And then the kids learn this dialogue, and then they interface with each other. And I believe that the children are really the sex experts that are now trying to catch their parents up.
Yeah.
If their parents ever had the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck was yelling. Who was that yelling?
That was Seatbelts.
Get off the goddamn phone and come on over here so I can drop it off in your drawer.
Oh,
okay. That's from Baby Boy. That's from the movie Baby Boy.
Veronica, speak on it, and then we're bringing in none other than Hecka Activated.
Yeah, well, I think when you think back to like even going back further to like the 50s, I mean, back before the era of birth control, when pussy was a really scarce commodity, because it had to be, because if it wasn't, then you had a baby, and the whole family was scandalized, and and on and on and on. So back then, of course, men crooned about it and swooned about it and wrote, love letters to it because it was not so readily available. Right? So it was like, everything was a metaphor for I'm longing to.
Veronica, you're telling me pussy was a mystery back then?
On a pedestal.
It was a mystery.
Wait.
People wrote love songs about it.
Pussy, where art thou?
I don't think it was. I think it was like to be left to the imagination, but it's been selling and moving like cotton and corn. So I think it's always been available.
Corn.
But I think pussy is probably more abundant than water right now.
Yep.
And women are not policing their pussies effectively. I mean, pussy's really easy to get right now.
The thing about it is back in the day, it used to be a little sexier to leave something to the imagination. And the thing about it is today is the kids think that it's great to just show up naked.
Yeah, especially if you got rims.
What do you mean?
I mean, like
rims equal nudity.
It was.
What kind of people you talking about?
Because you grew up. This is the Amber Rose age. She wears like dental floss,
right?
And back in the day, it was like, like a sarong and a bikini top. That was sexy because then you had something left to the imagination. Now, since you got the whole whopper out, it's not that exciting to eat it.
You got 13-year-olds wearing crop tops at the mall.
Right.
For what? Bee stings?
First off, I'm wearing a crop top, guys, and it's 90 degrees.
And those are not.
You are grown. You're
and those are not bee stings that Whitney has. She has full-blown
wasp stings when you're allergic.
Japanese hornets under her shit. Anyway,
I have a question. No, I got a
wait. Okay. Let's get Hecka activated on the hey, turn off all of their mics. Let's get Hecka activated on the line. Hecka, celebrity psychic.
Hi, how are you guys?
Speak to me. I'm gonna ask you a real tough question right now. I'm about to put my whole shit out. Everybody listen in. 844-55-1. Hecka activated is a celebrity psychic medium. Hecka, I have a 15-year-old daughter. She's a virgin. When is it going down? Let me know right now on the air.
17.
When she's 17, so I'm going to have to be talking a gang of shit from now till 17. Right? This little motherfucker better be Farrakhan. You hear me? You give up the pussy, you giving up to Farrakhan, goddammit. I got to say that. I got to have that conversation. 17?
Yeah, 17. And as far as the truffle butter is concerned, I think the best thing to do, or the best way to talk to her about that situation is to speak to her about bacteria vaginosis. She don't want it.
Right.
And she will get it.
Is that when the coochie smells like dumpster steel?
Like hot
From Corey Holcomb, dumpster steel.
Yeah, she don't want to do that at all.
When did you have the talk with your daughter? Did you initiate it or did she bring it to you?
Well, okay, before I get to that, I just want to say one thing, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I get to that question. Back in 2007, President Barack Obama spoke to Planned Parenthood, and he said that he felt sex education should be taught to kindergarten. Now, I can honestly say that that's one thing that I honestly felt like he got right. And the reason why I feel like he got it right is because not that I feel that kindergarten should be taught the energy of explicit sex, but I do feel that they should begin the learning process early as to ensure that when they are an appropriate age to participate in sexual activity, they are not forced to suppress their energies. You know? And I also feel that when the energies of sex is suppressed, it causes children to act out in violent, erratic, and compulsive ways, which is one of the shows that we had earlier, a couple shows ago, why children act out the way they do, why they need spankings and things of this nature. I think a sexual suppressed human being is a mad, destructive human being, and that's what we don't need. So that's first and foremost.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Hecka. Hear me out, boo thang. Let me ask you this, because you said something that I thought was pretty profound. Are you telling me that the sexually repressed, these are the motherfuckers that turn out to be the nutcases that shoot up the buildings and, you know, psychopaths and all of this because they didn't get a chance to bust off? Are these those guys?
Well, I mean, think about it. How do you feel when you suppress your sexuality as an adult? And
well,
if you feel a little,
it's been a long time since I've been repressed.
What makes you think that a child that has the same sexual energies as you have wouldn't feel a certain way if theirs is suppressed?
Right. You gonna let my penis fall off?
Not to mention that children, not to mention the fact that a child could start masturbating in the womb. There has been studies that have shown children, fetuses, masturbate in the womb, and children begin the masturbation process as early as 1 to 2 years old.
Really? No, that's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true. My son's, my oldest son's mother, she's a teacher. And she deals with these young children and all. And one of them is straight just going to town on herself. And the rest of them don't know what to say or think about it. But it's, Jesus. What if you bust in on your daughter? Yeah. She's 10 and she's going to town on herself. I know dads just, what the fuck? Let me just close the door and just drive to the local bar. As a mom, like, what do you say? How do you have that conversation? How do you initiate that?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. As far as my daughter is concerned, let me say this before I even get to that question. If we don't allow our children to do the masturbation process when they are this young, and we don't stop to try to talk to them about what is actually taking place with their sexuality, they're going to get this energy in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Ask Vanessa Williams. She got it as a little girl from, guess what? Another little girl at a sleepover. They're doing things that we don't know about anyway. So the best approach is to talk to them about it so they'll understand when their bodies are being violated.
Who do you think starts
to know about their own sexuality?
Which gender starts the masturbation process first, earliest? Is there any girls? You little hot pockets just running around heated, little hot ass diapers. Listen, we've got to go to our phone lines really quickly. People are online right now. Ozzy from California. I don't know what.
What's up?
Okay, turn your life down. What's happening?
Oh.
You yelling and shit?
Oh, man, I'm always turned up.
Okay, Ozzy, what's happening?
All right, Ozzy.
Hey, man, I want to chime in on what you guys are talking about, baby.
All right, speak on it.
All right, so whoever said that little girls masturbate or whatever, yeah, that's because they were probably molested. They got trauma, B.
No.
Look that shit up.
That's not why little girls masturbate because they are inherently sexual, and if they find a way to give themselves pleasure at an early age, they will take. It's not necessarily out of molestation. It really isn't. They're just sexual.
Absolutely.
Human beings are sexual.
Tell him to look that up.
Real shit.
Look that shit up, B.
Ozzy, thank you for hanging on the line for as long as you did. He was on for a long time. I appreciate it. The number to dial to chime in on this conversation. I know the conversation's a little reckless. I know it's a little tough. But we had to have it because when I'm listening to these records, man, with every new record, it gets more and more it's beyond in your face. Now it's nasty. Am I old for saying some shit is nasty?
No.
Because to me, that's just downright nasty. Truffle butter.
That is just sick, man.
But if you're really paying attention to the show, that's a conversation now that needs to be on the table. First off, it's already difficult to even have a conversation about sex with your kid. But now, when you start getting into what they're into, what they're mimicking, what they're modeling, it potentially becomes an even more difficult conversation. Naja Blu, you said your mother was real cool and, chill.
Yep.
No judgment, How did she embrace the process when it went down? Was she like, hey, it's all good? Well, you could still be a virgin. That's my sideways of checking. 844-55-1, the sideway, right?
We, even still, I mean, we'll have conversations and if I come back from a date, she'll be like, did you kiss him or did he kiss you? And I'll be like, yeah. She'll be like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. She gets really, but that's about the extent of her, conversation about it. I think she's, at this point, if I come to her with anything, she's open to talk about it. But if I don't come to her with it, and she trusts my judgment, which is the biggest thing. And because she trusts mine, I'm like, hey, yeah, I think I have good judgment. Let me activate that. You know what I mean? So, we're good.
How does a parent instill good judgment in a child regarding this conversation?
By implementation. I think she didn't have men coming in and out of the house. I was very well aware of all the men in her life, their families. Everybody was cool, you know what I mean? So it was there were no confusing signals that I got. Is that her man? The door's closed and I can't come in. I have a lot of friends I used to go to their house and their parents would have the door locked. What are you doing in there? When I'm over for a sleepover, you know what I mean? You have other children at your house and your door is locked and you're in there with the man. You know what I mean? Mm. So it obviously alludes to, we're not stupid.
Right.
We know something's going on. And then we're curious, so we're peeping under the door. We
are peeping under the door. I done seen a gang of family members having sex when I was little. I should have put out a memo. I'm gonna be snooping. Yeah, I know who this nigga is. I was there when my niece was born. I was there asking for unreasonable shit, right? Because I know they having sex. Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? No. And they just knew I knew. I was trying to get some notes. But when you're talking to these kids now, because a lot of kids, what I pick up is a lot of kids feel like you're out of touch. You don't understand what's going on in our world. You're old. Why would I even talk to you about what we're doing? Mm. So if you're going to instill judgment, how do you do it in a way where a kid still respects you? Because, no disrespect to Cockerham. That moral shit, that moral code, kids are not following that.
And you know what? That's fine. But, my moral compass and the fact that I have standards is not going to dictate some of the, ratchetness of today's youth. And
get your Jehovah's Witness ass out of here.
But it's not even that. You want your kids to be more like that. And that's the good thing. Because the good thing is to have some standards. You don't want to come in and catch your 13-year-old daughter with some truffle butter. Unless she's got it on some French fries, okay? So the thing about it is for as much as all of the crap you talk about me, I have the values you want to instill in your children because they were instilled in me. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I think parents are even more upset if that were to go down. You're more upset at yourself for that to happen. There has to be some lack of communication.
Tabor?
For me, I think if parents are so scared to talk to their children about sex or the act of, why don't they just talk to their kids more, just saying, you know what, you can actually come to me with anything. So then the kid initiates
Most
the sex
parents
talk.
aren't like that.
I'm just saying, why not? Y'all
Ashanti?
are parents. Y'all are parents. Wow.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. Why does sex have to be this big, huge cloud of a talk? Why can't it just naturally progress into a conversation between parents and kids?
Because don't nothing naturally progress in this fucked up society. Most people are afraid of fear dominates this culture. Veronica, am I bullshitting? Where's Veronica? Jesus, engineers just doing too many things.
I just said, I just have always framed to my kids like this. Listen, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? The reason that people get addicted is because it feels really great the first time, maybe the first 20 times. It's not until it's the 100th time that it's some serious, got a problem. And so, in the same with sex, there's so many things that you are going to have to confront out here in the world about sex. There's so many minefields. Let me partner with you a little bit and be in this conversation, not because I'm trying to monitor you, because I'm trying to shut you down, but because I want to be a thought partner with you as you navigate what is a very treacherous, fraught road that you may not understand as a young person. And so if you don't have somebody that's actually been there, done that can help you navigate this, then you may make some decisions that may be very consequential.
Right.
So we've been having that conversation the entire time so that it's not a mystery. It's not a surprise. It's not like, it's just a natural part of human conversation because it's a natural part of human life.
Hecka?
I don't understand the fear about it.
Hecka?
Yeah. I talk to my daughter about sex. I talk to her about my sex life. I let her know it's been a long time since I had some.
Damn.
We're very open. We're very open about sexual activity in our relationship. She came to me and talked to me when it was time or when she felt like she was ready to have sex. I talked to her about birth control. I talked to her about the energetic connection and the energetic exchange with sexual partners, how to attract the type of sexual partner she wants. I talked to her about all of that. I even provide a place for her to have sex when she feels like she needs to do it, because I would rather her have sex in my home where she's covered and she's safe than to have a police knocking on my door telling me that he just found her in the park having sex.
That's a good point. Let me ask you this. At every high school, there was a high school hoe. Right? We all know who she was. She fucked everybody. And if she didn't fuck you, you was just a nerd. You wasn't cool. You were just, you were pathetic if you didn't get a chance to get off with the high school hoe. You spoke about energy. And for these young kids, say there's a high school hoe. How long does it take her to get the energy of all of the dicks from high school out of her situation, right? Out of her field. How long does that take? Veronica? And then Hecka.
A long time. A long time. I mean, one of the reasons that I think people innately have a revulsion against women that are considered thoughts is because biologically what people react to, aside from the moral bullshit that's been fed to us to make us feel guilty about sex, the other thing that people are instinctively revolted by is the idea of a woman's womb getting a whole bunch of different semen in it, right? Like a whole bunch of it. Because there's something intrinsically that makes us protective about women's wombs as baby carriers. Right? Mm-hmm. So there's a part of us that gets real weird about that. So I think that it goes even beyond, having a man's sperm inside of you. It's having a man's energy inside of you. Because every time a man lays down and implants you with his consciousness and then you take on that consciousness. So if he's crazy, listen, if you talk to women that have dealt with a lot of crazy men and they've hoed with a lot of crazy men. They're crazy just because there's too many conflicting energies in their body.
Wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. Hecka activated? Give me 30 seconds.
Yes, I agree with everything Veronica just said. At the same time, I also believe that we carry the energy of the other people all the people that we slept with throughout our lives until we go through the process of cutting those ties. We have to go through that process.
So you guys need like a
process that we can do in order to make sure that those ties are cut. Otherwise, we'll experience all types of havoc in our lives according to the people that we slept with.
So we need to seek somebody out that can perform an energy douche or something, some type of cleanse.
Well,
do it yourself.
Some of the women, it takes them as long as it takes them on a flight to get to another state, because for some reason hoes always want to be wholesome when they get someplace else.
Hoes want to be wholesome. Wow. Listen, Randall Crawley L at Studio 7 Design says, at 12, my grandmother left me rubbers on the dining room table.
Grandma?
At 14, mom threw rubbers at me and said, don't bring any babies home. And to a lot of parents, that's the talk. Don't bring no babies home. Does the talk, does it entail helping, guiding the child to come to terms or come to an understanding of their sexual nature?
I think that the talk is not just about the sexual nature. I think it's about the communication between the child and the parent. And I think that it transcends into other areas and avenues of their life. Like, that's the parent that's going to know that their child has a gun when they're going out to school. I think it opens up a dialogue, and you're supposed to be molding these children, just not letting them run out into the streets like little wild animals. That's
the big black beard says, what's the common dick recovery time limit? Oh, God. These guys are crazy right now. At 95, wait, hold on one second. At 95, Gert, he says, I agree. I learned about sex through porn when I was about 10, but still didn't have sex until I was 17.
with somebody else.
And I'm just saying, you know, sometimes porn is the classroom. Mm-hmm. Naja?
I think a big part of it is that people in my generation, at least the parents and the grandparents, suck. Like, they don't do that kind of stuff. Like, I know people's grandparents, like...
They don't suck. It's just Jesus is there. Jesus said don't talk about that.
No, they suck in terms of, like, there's no conversation about stuff. Like,
right.
There's just no conversation. There's no nothing. And I'm scared for the generations of kids, the 4-year-old girls now whose mothers are the ones that have 50,000 followers on Instagram.
Ooh.
What are we going to do about that? That's the real problem. Forget my generation. We're good. We'll be okay. That's the problem. Because my mom...
are not going to be
We're
okay.
good. No, we're good.
I decree.
We're good. I promise.
Here, Whitney, we're good. Listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, more callers, more guests. This is a needed topic. Are you ready to have the truffle butter discussion with your sexually curious teen? 844-55-1. We'll be back in 2.2. Wow. I think I need you guys to understand how I get down. I'm not going to be afraid of any conversation, any topic. This is a relationship help desk. I mean, of course, we're going to have fun. We're going to crack jokes. You know, but some of these topics and the subtleties and the nuances of them are very serious. You're listening to Hot Button Radio, Dash Radio. The Dash Radio app is free. You just got to download it on whatever platform you have. The iStore or Apple Store, Google Plus or Play. Is it Google Play?
Google Play.
Google Play.
Google Play, Android. And then go there and find Hot Button Radio, and I'm here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 to 7. So, and that's 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you're on the East Coast, that's 8 to 10. Maybe if you haven't had this conversation with your kid, you know, maybe you sit your kid down and have them listen to the show. It's unfortunate, but media has become the professor in the classroom of our children's lives. Right? It's kind of whack,
right.
But that's what it is. I mean, to me, truffle butter is promoting disease and...
It's disgusting.
And all kind of other nefarious shit that's going on. And it makes me wonder, like, the mindset of the people who even created that shit. Like, you motherfuckers is aliens. Is something wrong? But I don't want to judge. I've already done it.
Right.
Okay.
It's all good.
So, Christ. Veronica Conway.
Yes, sir.
I would ask, if you could do, because Veronica is the type of person that creates all of these fucking workshops and platforms, and, you know, she's a coach, right? She coaches coaches, right? If you're a life coach and you need to sharpen your shit, you go fuck with Veronica Conway. Veronica Conway, you know, taught Iyanla Van Zandt NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, right?
I introduced her to.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. I was going to lie a little bit, but yeah, well, here we go. My lie is thrown out. Thank you. And she's honest, as you can see, right? But Veronica is a cold piece. Veronica, if you could create like a workshop for parents to talk to their kids about sex, the millennials, how would you go about doing it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the first part of the course would be for parents so they could lighten the fuck up.
Wow.
And remember who the hell they are, that they are humans, that they are sexual humans, that sexuality is the most pervasive, powerful force on earth, and that their kids, in fact, got here that way. So it is completely strange and backwards to me that you forgot how you got your kid here, but you can't talk about how they got here. So I think I would have that conversation with them and really get to the bottom of what is the fear and why the fear, you know, why is it? Because until the parent actually feels congruent, meaning really lined up that they can have that conversation, they're not going to have it in any way but sane. So they have to be open and they have to want to have it. So you got to do some work with them to get their heads on straight so they can come from a holistic place, the same place, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer.
Talking to their kids, there's some fear in there that needs to be dealt with.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a great answer. Hecka, speak to that.
Yes.
Go ahead, follow up.
I agree with Veronica. I agree with Veronica 100%. And after that process, I think one of the most important steps is to teach the children masturbation. I mean,
wait a minute.
What?
Okay.
Teach them masturbation?
You can't even think.
Word.
No, seriously, I'm serious. If you're young, I mean, of course, children younger already are doing it. Okay, we're gonna teach them about what it is that they're doing and the most appropriate way to do it. How to make sure that you're in private. How to I mean, either you're gonna teach them or they're gonna learn from somewhere else. That's just it. They're already doing it.
Yep,
they're already doing it.
Our resident bishop. Our resident Pope of morality disagrees with you, Hecka. Fucking Pope Cockerham has something to say. Speak to us.
You guys,
Father.
I'm not being a pope. You guys just don't have any fucking boundaries. I'm not showing my daughter or my son how to fucking masturbate. It's like there's laws against that shit.
First off, you're not supposed to be cursing Pope.
Excuse me.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I'm just like
the first female Pope over here. We can hear you though.
I'm not asking you to show your child how to.
I think you have a conversation.
I'm asking you to teach them about the process of masturbation. That's what I'm asking you to do. Because if they're already doing it, they already know how to do it. You don't have to show them. They already know how to do it. They're doing it as young as 1 and 2 years old.
All right.
Kids have an innate, inherent ability to masturbate. They start doing it 2-3 years old. I think what you want to do is you want to have a conversation with your child about their body, but you also want to set boundaries with them for utilizing that as a tool, because sexual responsibility. And you want to also teach them, about their private parts and what is appropriate to be doing and what is not appropriate to be doing.
I'm team masturbate all day, Hecka. My cousin was 2 years old.
Do you wear gloves?
His mom.
No, go ahead.
He was in the
Hand
living room. He was in the
sanitizer.
living room playing with his little thing, and his mom was like, "You don't do that in here. You can go do that in the bathroom." He's a good kid. Don't you know what I mean? Like, she was just like, "That's okay to do. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. Go here in the privacy of your, by yourself and do your thing."
That was the best answer I've gotten all day. Hey, you do not do that in here.
I said
You
boundaries.
can go in your bathroom, go in your bedroom, and have at it.
Do your thing.
Paint the walls.
And honestly, I feel like the masturbation is like the key for all. Like, what was it? 80% of women don't really have real life orgasms. I think if women learned how to masturbate, maybe even earlier, they could be having those Nachama orgasms, 12 hours and shit. I'm down with that.
And think about all the boys out there who are just going to be whack, corny beta males. You better learn how to masturbate.
Figure it out.
Your dad better tell you where to get the premier lotion, all the tools you need to just rip one off, because you might be lonely for quite some time. I mean, there's a lot of corny dudes out there.
I was going to say, being in LA has taught me how to really masturbate. That's TMI. I don't even.
Wow.
It is what it is. I'm just saying.
Hey, well, shit. All you got to do is call folks. You will get assistance immediately.
I just said it with that.
Our associate producer, Chris, we're going to put his ass out
He
here.
put him on blast.
Chris said he learned how to masturbate by watching There's Something About Mary.
That's deep.
He also added that masturbation saved my life and my wallet.
Jesus Christ. That's an honest man.
That's real life, though.
Okay, we're going to go around the table. When was the first time you masturbated, Ashanti?
I have never been into masturbation, honestly.
You like the dirt.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop
you remember
playing with
that
the clear.
Genuine, wow.
I rap from time to time.
There was this Genuine album that came out in like 2003.
100% Genuine.
Yeah, and I became a little bit of a hump doctor, but I never really masturbated.
Go deeper about the
Say
hump
more.
doctor.
Yes.
Me and my pillow had very intimate times alone.
You know that there is something you can strap onto your pillow. I have seen.
I just have never been into it. I would like the actual thing.
Wow, that's my type of woman. Indeed. Hecka, when was the first time you manually bust off?
Actually, in all honesty, I feel like I was about 6 or 7 years old, but I didn't quite understand what was going on then. So after that process, I didn't do it again until about 4 years ago after I had divorced.
You mean you took a 20-something year hiatus from masturbation?
Yeah, I mean...
Wow.
Yeah, of course, because, for my whole life, since I was about 14, 15 years old, I was in a relationship. So I didn't really feel like I needed it, although I really did need it. I didn't feel like I did. So I started to understand myself more and wanted to connect more with myself after I divorced. So I started at that time.
And the DJ is a jerk. While you're sharing your life, this dude is playing Too Short in the background.
We love Short.
What's up with that?
We love Short.
Hilarious.
Veronica, when was the first time you squeezed one off?
As early as I can remember. Meaning as early as might have been 2 or 3 years old.
You know what? Wash your hands. Keep your hand out your pamper. This is disgusting. This is bad. Did I ask you what?
You know what I think so too? I think that women that Hecka makes a really great point, that women that understand how to give pleasure to themselves, they become less hankering and needy for male attention.
Ooh.
Right? In other words, you understand who you are physically, then you can relate to a man and see him in right consciousness if you're not because if you're not fulfilling, if you don't have any sense of your body and you can't really fulfill yourself that way and you don't understand what gives you pleasure, then you'll start getting all these urges and they become they get more and more intense, if you ignore them, and then you transfer all that urgency to him as though the yearning belongs to him. sometimes it's just you're yearning for sexuality.
Wow.
But if we don't understand pleasure in that way, then we attach it to a guy misguidedly, right? And then we end up needy and hankering and tripping.
Good stuff. Whitney, when was the first time?
The first time I was 22, I was in college, and my lesbian friend was like, "What the hell are you not? Why are you not masturbating? This is the dopest thing." And I told my friend, who had never had an orgasm, and she had a boyfriend forever. She had never had an orgasm, and she wouldn't let him go down on her. I said, "You're kind of tripping. You should let him."
Wow.
And until she masturbated and learned her body, she finally had an orgasm.
Crazy.
Shout out to masturbation for that.
Shit, I don't even know how I feel about asking Naja Blu. Jesus,
Actually, my answer is not gonna make you cringe. I'm with Ashanti actually, because I don't know. I just never was into. I didn't know it was even a thing. I didn't even
now
know
you
that.
do.
Yeah, it's kind
You
of
know what I mean?
You're
yeah,
welcome.
it's not to me. It's like tickling yourself. You know, I'm just
It's
like
a
I
good
don't
tickle. Trust me.
No, I'm just like that's not.
She's like, don't tickle
not
me,
doing
pimp.
it.
Pickle
That's not
me.
doing
Don't tickle, pickle. Neecole Cockerham. When was the first time?
Probably about 16 when I went to college.
Wow.
Learning shit.
And she's just, showing off that she's a genius. It's fine. Probably when I was 16 when I went to college,
And Zoe, when did you?
Yeah, Zoe. When did
I have a terrible jack-off story.
Here we go.
You got busted.
Yes.
Here we go.
I got busted.
What?
Wow, busted.
It was my sister busted me while bussing off.
Come on, man.
You know.
You give it the deer in the headlight look.
I think I was watching. What was I doing? I think I was watching the Thriller video. And I was jacking off to Ola Ray.
Oh, goodness.
I was like, zombies. Okay.
Ola Ray was bad as shit.
Back in the day.
Right? That was fine. That was fine back in
Shit,
the day,
man.
right?
She was bad as shit. And I was like, I'm going to squeeze one off to the rhythm. Right? And my sister walked in. What are you doing? I'm telling Mom you're in the living room. This is a public space.
I love your sister.
Yeah, but it's all good. I still got it off. I got it off. I'm already here in the middle of it. So you can either stay and hang out with Ola Ray or just go in your room or something. But I did it and got busted, and that was a terrible time. As a matter of fact, I have to see her tomorrow. Anyway, I think it's natural. I have yet to catch, my son or, catch him masturbating. But I think he got hip to the game. I think when he got like really freaky or whatever he was going through, he got hip. He just started locking his door. He just comes in and disappears. Like you won't see this dude for the whole day. He won't even eat. Just be in the room. And I said, I know some heavy lifting is going on in that motherfucker right now. So you can't just bust in on him and be like, what you doing? But his mom wants to do that, but that doesn't happen. But I think masturbation is natural. So what do you have for this?
When he turned 18, he asked him what he wanted for his 18th birthday, and he said a hooker.
Oh, that's right. Did you get him one?
He did, and he was serious. And I considered it. We couldn't pull it off, but I considered it because I didn't want it to be, part of it is that young men get so jammed up, backed up. They just and it's a mystery. And so when it gets all jammed up and it's a mystery in kids' heads and they start doing stupid things, so I'd rather have it happen in a sane, controlled environment. Right, but it wasn't easy. That's not an easy thing to pull off if you're not in the habit of pulling that off. So,
did your son talk to you about it, Veronica? Did he tell you like, hey, Mom, I think I'm getting ready to take it out of my hands and put it in a meat wallet?
Oh my!
How did that go?
Oh yeah, no, we talked about it. So when he said a hooker, it caught me a little off guard, but I understood it, and then we sat down and we talked about it. And what that means. So, yeah, he's always been very forthright about what he is, about his intentions and where he's at around it and all of that. Yeah. It's just a normal conversation in our house. It's not an all-the-time conversation, but it's not outside of the norm.
Which do you guys think is
part of life.
which do you guys think is the most comfortable parent to talk to, like for the genders? Do you think girls, it's more comfortable to talk to mom about it
Absolutely.
than it is to talk to dad?
Definitely.
Right?
Yep.
Mom has the same
Because you have the same, right.
I didn't talk to them.
See, you just took it out of their hands, huh? Why didn't you talk to them?
Because I didn't have anything to say to them.
I'm going to get some dick, and it's my decision.
No, like my mom, she didn't grow up in the school in the era of, you know, talking about sex. My mom didn't even have sex till she was like 22. So, you know, that wasn't one of her strong suits.
Wow.
So who did you talk to, or who did you learn from, or I mean, somebody has.
You know what? I was doing a lot of school stuff, so that wasn't my focus.
Somebody on Twitter, yeah, you motherfuckers.
I know, right? That's so crazy.
Well, first off, we playing Thriller right now, and then somebody tags Ola Ray in a picture.
Y'all gonna get him excited now. Hold on.
Jackie Mack, she tags me in this, and Ola Ray's face when. I don't want to. That's terrible. She don't get the picture of her scared. I mean, Jesus.
At first, I was like, zombies for real, though? That's weird.
I don't know if you've ever.
People get into crazy shit. I don't know.
And I did it again when Ola Ray did the Playboy spread.
Oh,
I had to go get that spread. Yeah.
What about when they found her at the hotel?
Yeah, the problem
Cockerham?
with that. Yeah, Cockerham. Yeah.
No.
But what I suggest is my parenting tips really quickly. Judgment has no place in this conversation. And you should, and when I say judgment, because for me, judgment is born from morality, right? Religion, right? And all of these authorities, right? Oh, this is how it's supposed to be done, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. Blah, blah, blah. All of that hubris, right? I think non-judgment, like let me listen, let me understand, because if you study something like human services, you'll find that children go through stages of development, right? And most parents aren't aware of the fucking stages of development, you know, where they're confused about who they are as a person, and they're looking at their peer group and judging themselves based off of who and what their peer group represents themselves as to them. You know, most parents don't know the progressive stages of that. So non-judgmental listening when it comes to this conversation is paramount, right? Of course, you have your opinion, but that opinion should be belayed until the child, if the child opens up and shares with you, because parents lose their kids a lot when when they know they can't talk to you. That's like a coach losing the team. Like when you know no yelling, they not listening to your ass no more. We're just gonna lose because you ain't shit. You know, teams do that. He lost the team. And a parent can lose the child because the child knows who the parent is. The child knows the parental style that I can't tell my mom this. She gonna fucking blow her stack. So judgment kills this conversation, number one. Number two, you definitely need resources. There are all types of websites out there. If you don't know how to initiate the conversation, all you got to do is Google frequently asked questions about the sex talk, and all types of resources will just fly out, and all of the questions that you may not know will just fly out. And I think you should have the conversation before they get involved, because what happens is when they get involved, Jesus Christ, now you're having this conversation in a reactionary space. Okay, how do I react to this? Oh my God, you didn't wear a condom. Wow. Okay, so did you bust in? Did you come in?
Wow.
Well, yeah. Ain't that what you supposed to do? Oh, Jesus. That's because you didn't have the conversation beforehand. Sometimes you got to have the conversation beforehand, and it has to be, like Veronica said earlier, it can't come from an authoritative space. It has to come from a mentor space, right? Like I told my son straight up, you gonst be fucking. there's just no way you're not going to be fucking. So this is how we going to do this. First, let me scare you. Look at all these diseases. Then let me come back and say, here's the protection, right? And then let me come back and deal with the psychological piece. You can't lose your rationale just because it feels really good, right? Just because it feels good doesn't mean it's good for you. So we had that conversation. So this is what I'm going to do. Really quickly, everybody has 30 seconds to wrap their idea on it. 30 seconds or less. Starting with Hecka Activated, our resident psychic. Hecka, what's your website one more time?
My website is www.heckaactivated.com. That's Hecka, Heka, activated.com. And I just think that, sex is beautiful. And we talk about it as if it's the most horrific act in the world sometimes.
It is
I just think
beautiful.
we should all release the programs and the fact that society has made sex so taboo and just enjoy it to the best of our ability. Young and old, sex is good, even if you have to have it with yourself.
Wow, damn. Okay. Veronica Conway, shit.
Sex is it's like an ocean, right? I mean, it's the power of sex is like an ocean. It's so vast, it's so powerful. It gets everything born to this planet. Everything that gets born to this planet is born through the act of some form of sex. It's creative. And so the minute that you take that very powerful ocean and you try to ramp it down through fetishes and through all this weirdness and bizarreness, then what you get is this really distortion. You get this neurosis. So I think we've got to return to what's natural to us. Mm-hmm. And that means dropping the fear and the shame and the guilt and all that bullshit that we tend to engage in and getting back to like what's natural.
Got it. And Veronica exceeded everyone's time, so no one will be talking after.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. 30 seconds or less. Ashanti Ford.
I think that naturally we are all sexual beings. And so as long as we are being safe, wearing a rubber jacket.
Let's be safe together, Ashanti.
And
I'm sorry, my bad.
And not truffle buttering it up. I think it's all
Jesus.
good.
Whitney, quickly.
Same thing, man. Talk about it more. I think people should just have some more sex and then talk about it so we can learn and get better at fucking.
Yes. Whitney, can you schedule me in Siri right now? Tell Siri that we're gonna practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Naja Blu.
Yeah, it definitely shouldn't be as taboo as it is. I think we should just get right to it. Start early telling listen. We got to start early telling kids what it is, because I sure didn't have the conversation.
And now she's good. Now she's safe in the world. I feel good.
Cockerham, starring Jesus Christ. This is our resident
thought you said no judgment.
moral
You know
pope.
what?
I'm
Knock
judging
it
you
off.
all day, goddammit. Go ahead.
Knock it off. I think sexual education is great. And I think you should talk to your kids early so they'll know what to expect. Talk to them about their bodies. And, that'll help them, formulate some opinions about, people and different types of approaches that are coming towards them. As long as they know what they're getting themselves into.
Hey, listen, this is the Voice of Reason, Hot Button Radio, Dash Radio. We're going to do this 3 times a week from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hey, I had a great time today. This is the type of conversation we're going to have. We're not going to shy away from anything. So if you want to call in, participate, that's what you do. We're going to keep it going. I'll see you Monday. When we come back Monday, legendary author. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Great book.
Dr. John Gray will be on the Voice of Reason. It's going to be crazy. Listen, we're going to do the Battle of the Sexes show. He's going to explain why there's so much miscommunication between male and female. If you're living in a bullshit relationship, you need to call in on Monday to get some fucking help. 844-55-1 is the number to dial. I'll see you next week. Zoe Williams, I'm out. Deuces.